Never left in the blue. He's playing for Cloud9. It's Gumiho. Never right for Twisted Mind, or not for Twisted Mind, excuse me, Teamless, technically for Team NV, but Teamless all the same. Is a Red Protoss player. It's Creator. And I'm never quite sure what the status of Team NV is, right? We talk about it, it's like, well, okay, here we go. And by the way, Barracks Double Gas Factory coming out of Gumiho, so bit of an aggressive opening. Coming out of Gumiho in this game, number one, you get your factory faster, is really the big deal out of that one. Barracks Double Gas Factory into the command center is how this goes, and that gives you Widow Mines faster, gives you Medevacs faster, Hellions faster, Cyclones faster, whatever it is. You know, it gives you this tech. If you want to go for it, it gives you this tech just a little bit faster, which gives you more aggressive options, maybe some more defensive options, but it slows down your economy just a tiny bit. For now, though, Creator scouts up the ramp, says, okay, what you got going here? And the fact that there's no command center on the way, that this SCV is not all that interested in doing so, it tells him something. You know, he just kind of keeps scouting up the ramp once to see what's up. It's like, yeah, there's nothing on the high ground, nothing on the low ground. I don't need to go and get trapped in here. I don't need to go lose to the Reaper, to go die to the Reaper. I know that there's a second refinery. Like, I got a really good idea of what's happening. These players are very good at that. So, Gumiho and Creator, they're going to be able to move forward. Creator, of course, just has to play as defensive, fairly defensively. Now, what you're worried about in this map is this map has a decent amount of dead air zone. It's kind of like Blackburn, except it's not quite as isolated. Where you have this weird, I guess Blackburn, the bases were down here. But you kind of have this weird setup where there's this kind of, it's not quite an island. I mean, Blackburn, it was an island before the rocks went down, but this is kind of not quite an island area that it's pretty hard to chase things through. Like, yeah, you can get back up here, but any units would have to go here, down here, or around. So it can be pretty solid for things like medevac drops, kind of taking advantage of that one. So, Gumiho, what do we got? For now, it's going to be a reactor on the way from the tech lab, starport as well, reactor Widow Mines. Seems, oh no, excuse me, what am I saying? That's a tech lab. Okay. So it's going to be, I thought Banshees. I guess not. So tanks on the way here. Gumiho, natural is going to be done fairly quickly. It's going to be interesting to see where we're going to go from here for Gumiho, whether this is truly turning into like a 1-1-1 where you build Vikings out of the, like Viking Liberator out of this. But no, it's going to be medevac. It's going to be kind of a tank drop setup. Actually, I really like that. So you go and you put the tank. We talked about how hard it is to get on top of anything. And yeah, the tank range only covers about here. But it does give you maybe an ability to siege. Gonna be fun to see if that's kind of what Gumiho is going for. Meanwhile, Creator, no, this is 3 gate, excuse me. It's gonna be 3 gate blink coming out of Creator, maybe dropping a 4th gate later on to kind of as a proxy warp in position aggressively. I don't know. But for now, 2 more gateways on the way, getting up to that 3 gate setup. And here comes our Marines all over the place. They're going to shut the Adept down, certainly. Oh, yeah, there we go. So this is absolutely, we're going to have 2 tanks and a medevac. We're going to have a bunch of Marines rallying across. Adept, well, Gumiho's just trying to get aggressive in this game before the tech is done. That's the important thing. Blink is about halfway done for Creator right now. He's sitting here. He's gonna find himself an army eventually, but for right now, he doesn't really have one. 28 army supply to 15. We're looking at like 5 stalkers here. Tanks are gonna get on top. 4 stalkers now, and again, Blink's not done. So this attack from Gumiho, I talked about, right side and taking advantage of seat. No, he's just gonna run it straight up the gullet before anything is ready. Robo's here certainly, but that's just detection. Stalker's dead. This Robo's not gonna have an opportunity to go and build any immortal here. Nope, not a thing. Robo's dead. Pylon is going to take some damage here as well. So shield battery is going to get shut down. No overcharge there. Blink's going to be done in 1 second. Stalker's getting low. But now there's a Liberator as well. And with, oh wow. Yeah, Creator's hella supply blocked here as well. So Stalker's going to move forward, trying to get on top of the Liberators and the tanks at the same time. Creator is just dead. Totally and absolutely. He's in the ground. Game 1 goes the way of Gumiho. I'm pretty curious to see how aggressive Gumiho is going to be in this second game. Game one, of course, we saw him go. And by the way, actually, you know what? Before we talk about that, if you like what I do here and you want to see more Starcraft action, more Stormgate action, when that's also publishable, if you want to see more stuff like that, you should go hit the sub button on YouTube. You should follow me on Twitch, because I stream live on Twitch. If you're watching this, EPT Korea, every Monday morning. Well, except not next week, because I'll be in DC at a conference. But generally, I stream EPT Korea, EPT North America, other things as I have time for. So you hit the follow button, hit the sub button, and I'll see y'all around. Now we're in the second game. It's not going to be this 1-1-1 type of setup out of Gumiho like we saw in game one, or at least not as fast, right? No barracks, double gas factory. This is Reaper expand. Well, I guess technically it's... Oh, no, okay, no, he did get a Reaper. Yeah, so it's Reaper expand. Barracks, command center factory, single gas. Tech much more delayed for Gumiho than it might otherwise be, but economy much more developed than Gumiho for Gumiho than it would have been, than it was in game one, which I think is fair, right? You've shown your aggressive option, you've attacked with it, you won with it. There's no need to give Creator the same look again. You know, Creator's able to, he's going to be able to go in and say like, yeah, okay, this is more front of mind. I know what I have to worry about. I know what I'm looking for. You know, it's going to be a little easier to figure out, a little bit easier to maybe meet on the map. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly where this goes. For now, though, Widow Mine drops is the answer, I think. It's not going to be that committed of one, right? There's no reactor on the factory. This is a slower factory than is possible. Again, we talked about what we saw in game one. So he's going to build out 1, 2, maybe 3 Widow Mines at a time. Run across the map, put some pressure on. Of course, Widow Mines indirectly nerfed a little bit. Widow Mine drops nerfed a little bit, where you get a notification if Widow Mines drop that your probes are under attack before the shot goes off. Thank you, Blizzard. Well, I guess the Balance Council did that one, but thank you. And of course, well, actually, indirectly nerfed. They got directly nerfed too. The splash zone of the radius of explosion on a Widow Mine is less than it once was. Now, realistically, it doesn't actually make that big of a difference for probe drops. I think it's like 1 or 2 less probes if it's like really clumped. But even still, anything that takes the power out of these Widow Mine drops makes them less effective is really solid. I think that's a good move. Widow Mine drops, if you're gonna have healing, or you're gonna have Widow Mines serve an important job in TVP and TVZ. They give you a lot. These stalkers are going to find this medevac in the middle of the map. I'm not getting a ton of damage on it, though, because it will boost on forward, but it does provide time for warpins. So, ooh, these stalkers a little bit of an awkward setup. Okay. Yeah, it seems like this. Yeah, this is not going to get a ton done, I guess. So, okay, what am I drop for now? It's going to be forced to back up. Now, there we go. 3 stalkers in the main base. That's going to be enough to really knock this down. So stalkers just pretty much everywhere. Eventually this is going to get forced to pull together, but I love what Gumiho's doing. He's taking advantage of it's like, yeah, I got Widow Mines in the main, or I got this drop that's going to try to keep some of your units in the main base. I'm going to move out with this. Yeah, I don't have another medevac, not really. It's only 1 tank. I'm going to see if I can stretch you apart, Creator, and it's not going to work, right? Creator's got this army at the front. He's going to poke away at these stalkers. Blink isn't done for another 10 seconds, but this attack is not going to work. Widow Mine drop as well in the main base. It got like 1 probe. It's going to get 2 probes. 2 Widow Mines for 2 probes. Not really going to complain, but this medevac is dead. Blink is done, Creator. There we go. Knocks it down. And this attack, I like the idea. Taking advantage of your opponent maybe being a little bit distracted because Widow Mine drop in the main base, right? Maybe you're going to get something somewhere. But at the end of the day, all you did is you lost a Marine, which, granted, it's a single Marine. It's not that big of a deal. And Gumiho behind this, he's got his 3rd base up very quickly. We saw a tremendously aggressive Gumiho in game number 1. He runs across the map on 2 bases, 1-1-1. Says, I'm going to kill you now or die trying. And great, yeah, he did. He killed him. But this game, too, is Gumiho's getting a little bit aggressive. We saw that move out with the stimulus Marines and the tanks and things. But this is a Gumiho that is playing much more defensively. Generally, like, getting a command center started this early is something you do if you're doing 6-minute stim. This is going to be a 7:30 stim. Gumiho just not really lining up for an aggressive attack nearly as much. He's spending a lot of money on getting his economy much faster, even as he's sitting kind of the setup where he's going to have the tech at 7:30 +1 stim combat shields. He's going to have some army supply, you know, a decent amount. Is 4 probes go down. I thought the Raven was handled the first time, but apparently not. Even as he handles this, right, even as he deals with everything that we're seeing, this third base is done by 7 minutes. Gumiho's economy, he's not going to have this big army supply buffer, this big buildup that you might expect around this time. Generally, you're up about, well, actually, I guess he will, because I guess we're waiting for some warp in rounds, but he's up about 20 army supply right now, which is where you want to be when you're talking about attacks like this. And he's got his third base much faster, so I really like the position from Gumiho. What do we got Colossus-wise? We got 1 Colossus, 1 Immortal, 10 Stalkers on the map, a ton of Widow Mines. Stalkers move down the ramp here. They're not going to kill that tank. They had to blink out a little bit too soon. Now the 4th base from Gumiho is going to get canceled. Charge is not done. Widow Mine actually hits a shot. Forgot about that. That was a great move out from Gumiho, and especially given how greedy he's been, you know, again, going for this timing that he's built himself up to. 75 odd army supply. What am I triggered by the hallucination? 75 army supply, everything else, getting that quick third base as well. Well, it got a lot done. He cancels a 4th base. Scan goes down. Gumiho knows where the army is. You have to be a little worried right now, though, if you're Gumiho. When we talk about what Gumiho's been able to get, everything he's been able to do, his medevac count's not incredible, which means he has to build more of it, right? He's got 3 on the map. He's building 2 more here as he's going to go for this drop. You have to be a little bit worried about this Colossus Blink Stalker charge lot timing. That we've seen a lot of Protoss players go and win with. Stats beat Cure with it in the winners match of the round of 8. There we go, the GSL last Thursday. Stats beat Cure with that. We see it'll actually just happen a lot on ladder or in these EPT in these tournaments as well. By the way, man, look at Creator's vision right now. He sees everything. Thank you, Stats, for showing us the way. Now, granted, other Protoss players have long been good at this, but Stats, the first time I noticed it in a while was Stats against Cure in one of those games, in the game that he kind of threw away. And now we're seeing more Protoss players do it in PvT. Like, I'm not drawing direct correlation, but it is fun to see like ideas start to percolate through the ranks a little bit as a Stalker will fall, but not much more than that. This army from Gumiho is not impressive. You know, he's putting pressure. He's posturing a little bit, but it's not all that impressive. But he is knocking down some, as this Widow Mine is going to go off. It's going to get shut down as well. He is knocking down a decent amount of this vision. Probe's dead, certainly. Pylon's dead. This Observer is still there, but that vision that we were talking about from Creator is not as good as it once was. But he is maxed out. And he's looking to run it right up the gullet. There's not a lot here for Gumiho. His army is... He's got a big drop on the left side, big drop on the right side. Creator feels desperate. He feels desperate, actually. He's got to run up the gullet. He's going into this base trade, and then Terran's got first mover's advantage. He's going to wipe this army. Annihilate this army, certainly. But he's going to lose some. I think that's the important thing to point out here. Archons are going to get popped. The Vikings being made 2 at a time, not 4 at a time. 4th base dead for the Protoss player. 3rd base, main base actually going to get stimmed into. So we should see our production start to get knocked down a little bit. Disruptor is there. Certainly probes are going to get pulled. But now the production's here. And yeah, there are ghosts in the main base. You'd love to get them. I think here, if you're Gumiho, you get a medevac maybe. EMPs on the army are nice. I think you try to boost the ghosts out. They're really important, but no, he's just going to, I guess, fight whatever he can. Land good EMPs. The ghost will fall. He's not going to kill much out of this. But the main base getting taken down. The 3rd base getting taken down. Creator losing his 4th base. That was a while ago. We got this. Oh, I love this for Gumiho. He's got a planetary ready. On the flip side, I don't think he's going to have, yeah, he doesn't have any orbitals. So planetary is going to be there, and I think it's going to be ready in time. No building armor, though. So he's going to have this planetary. That's actually a big deal, but he has no SCVs and no mules. That's the really important. So he's got this planetary, this position he can defend around, but he has No ability to go rebuild buildings. He's got this plan. There's nothing floating. Okay, now he's going to float some barracks off in the corner. That's actually really important. The fact that he had no way to build stuff and nothing, like stuff had to float. And I really am surprised not to see him trying to beeline back home. The planetary is what he wants to fight around. He doesn't have the army that allows him to fight the Protoss player, but the planetary is dead. He's trying to win this base trade, but already there are 22 probes on the map here. Creator, he's got the Nexus up. He's building gateways. Like, he is in such a better position. Gumiho, no command centers, no orbitals, nothing. Yeah, he's rebuilt their base. Nothing's being revealed. He doesn't have that Terran trump card of getting your orbitals out, dropping them somewhere, getting 1,000 minerals a minute, getting 2,000 minerals a minute because you're there, you know, just because you have stuff. Just because mules exist. That's not a thing. And now he's gonna, it's not gonna happen. There is no world where he breaks this. Yeah, he's up an upgrade. Fine, who cares? He doesn't have interference matrix. And this wall, this setup, how are you gonna attack into this, Gumiho? I think you just show up, you take your fight, you GG. Like, this is just not gonna work. Everything's dead. Colossus are getting stayed because why the hell not? And Gumiho falls down. Creator takes game 2. We move to game 3. Huh. What is this? Oh, okay. Creator's just looking for a proxy, some sort of proxy, which I guess is fair. This is kind of a natural proxy location. It's on a high ground. It's fairly close to the main base of the natural without being like right there. Of course, you'd love to be able to put proxy barracks right here and Reaper into the main, but that's not really a thing. Now, what you could do, actually, no, this wall was increased. It used to be that each mineral patch was 1 trip. It was 5 minerals each, but I want to say it's 10 now. So you couldn't just go to like proxy 2 racks Reaper and the 2 SCVs would mine through the wall and then get you up in the main base very quickly and just cause pain. It's not really a thing. But again, we're going to see, actually there's a Marine expand coming out of Gumiho in this third and final game in our series, which is kind of interesting as we watch this. Gumiho game 1 gets very aggressive. Game 2, you play his middle ground, and now it's going Reaper expand. So kind of your greediest possible expand build. That being said, he does build the command center on the high ground again because this is a Marine expand. And you don't really have a ton when you go for a Marine expand. You're pretty worried about some stuff. But the other way we can talk about a Marine expand is not only, yeah, it's greedy early. It's greedy early, and by being greedy early, by getting this Marine and not spending any of your gas on anything, it gets you those quicker factory starport timings without going the double gas. So you have a little bit more economy. And what effectively this means is that you can go and by optimizing yourself a little bit more, you can build yourself into some really powerful timings. But look at this, Creator game 3, proxy pylon on the map, proxy gateway on the map. So we got 1 gateway here, 1 gateway on the map. And it's, I mean, I guess that makes sense. This is a massive natural. You can play around with a lot of room. And there we go. Okay, so 3rd gateways. Yeah, this is something we've been seeing a little bit more. We've been seeing Classic do it. We've been seeing Creator do it. You just put pressure with 3 gateways. It's about stalkers. It's not about anything else. I mean, we're seeing adepts get made right now, but that's more because they can run across the map. And I think certainly seeing Marine Hellion. Well, maybe he's building more adepts. Okay. Very interested to see what we're going to see out of this. So for now, adepts scouting around, seeing what they can see. Hellion thinking about doing the same. And there's no wall on the high ground right here. This Hellion can get whatever it wants to. It's going to be able to see pretty much everything. But now, gateway's done. Warp gate's on the way for these couple gateways that are going to get made. 3 stalkers warping in right now. There's not a lot to defend this natural. Tanks on the way. Sure, medevac's on the way. Gumiho. Oh, no. Oh my, this is, well, actually this could be a problem for Creator or Gumiho, depending on who moves first. All the stalkers all the Marines in the medevac going for, I mean, this is a weird base trade. We're going to see 1 Marine go down, SCV, or actually I guess that was an SCV. SCVs are going to go down. Stalkers are going to try to wear through this. Kill the SCVs, right? You got to get put through here because Drop's going to find its way. Well, actually, excuse me, that's a Hellion. Drop's going to find its way into the main base here. These stalkers are on a timer. They have to warp in at home. I think you just got a recall here. This army, this drop is small, but it is absolutely mighty. Meanwhile, a bunch of SCVs gone down on the other side. Orbital is going to get lifted, and Classic thinks, Creator, excuse me, thinks he can defend this on the shield battery warpins, and he's right. He can defend against this. But the tank's up now, so he's not going to be able to break the main base, not necessarily. He kills 5 SCVs to 2. I thought this was going to be this was going to swing a lot harder one way or the other. And it was impactful for both players, but not swinging necessarily. So, tank on the high ground, tank on the low ground. Now the natural can get taken. But Creator's up 11 workers. He's got his third base on the way. Blink about halfway done, and Gumiho again taking advantage of this high ground setup, which again is, I talked about how Ghost City, Ghost something. I don't have the map names down yet. I'm sorry. Game 1 or game 1, where it kind of feels like this Blackburn, except there is a there's a little bit more accessible. This is actually I didn't even realize this is a rotated Blackburn. I guess the mineral walls are different, but this map kind of looks like a Blackburn that's been rotated 90 degrees clockwise. Anyways, a bunch of Marines here, tanks, SCVs gonna get pulled. This is a pretty committed push coming out of Gumiho. Again, trying to take advantage of where he doesn't think the tech's gonna be all that incredible for the Banshee as well, but Blink is done. It's only, well, I know it is 3 tanks, excuse me. So there's one-shot Stalker. This annihilates them. And the Banshees, though, it is a cloakless Banshee. Stalkers find some pretty good angles. This shield battery will go down, but also the ramp's fairly wide open. All right, this is a little bit easier of a position for our Protoss player to fight into than he might otherwise be able to do. But what we're waiting for, I guess, is we're not going to get a second Immortal, so it kind of feels like now or never for Creator. This Robo is not going to be powered again. This Robo is dead. We're going to see bunkers try to get set up. Another warp into Stalkers. Where are they warping in? Dealing with reinforcements. I really like that. But now we're going to try to take the fight here. This tank on the backside going to get shut down. Even with repairs, going to get shut down. Probes pulled 25 dead probes here. A second tank. The repair is so good for Gumiho. And the tank stays alive. There's one still here. Yeah, reinforcements get knocked down. But Gumiho, he wins on the pushes. He wins game 3. He moves on to either, well, I don't even know who he's going to run into. Beyond Rogue, maybe Cyan. We'll see. But for now, he wins this series 2-1.